Now that the machine is up on its stand, let's continue to prepare the machine for its first sew out. First thing we want to do is remove all the packaging materials, the rest of the packaging materials around the machine, removing the cover from the rotary hook arm and any tape or any other, again, packaging material. You'll notice the bobbin case stored here. And also across the top of the machine, we have the makings of the thread stand. So we'll go ahead and start cutting this up. You're going to look for two sets of components here. You have the tubular arms. There's one of each. So removing the packaging material. And you're seeing that this is divided into left and right arms, which will attach to the sash to hold the hoops while the machine is sewing. Also, you should see two metallic posts here, which are used to hold up they're used to put the rest of the thread stand or the thread tree together. They should each come with a 3mm hex screw at the top of the posts, which we'll use shortly to assemble the thread stand. So peeling this away, let's remove the cardboard and the packaging again. Gently removing the blue tape that's holding that down, which is specially designed so that you can peel it away without it leaving any residue. You'll notice that the top of the machine, the top of the thread tree is already pre-threaded, so that'll help us. It's also threaded all the way down through the machine head, so we don't have to completely thread the machine. You can also remove the packaging around the emergency stop button and remove any protection in front of the control panel as well. Next step, you want to get out the toolkit that came with your machine, and we want to remove the Phillips screwdriver. So in the toolkit, let's find usually a white-handled Phillips screwdriver here. And on either side of the head, find these safety collars here, which lock the head from sliding in place. Loosen the Phillips screw that's holding that and slide it off. There's one on either side of the machine. We'll go ahead and remove the other side right now. And you want to keep these safety locking collars for when the machine needs to be moved or shipped, as they hold the head in place. But they're equally dangerous when they're in place and the motors try to move the head left and right. So these stoppers prevent that. And so you want to make sure that you remove these collars every time the machine is set up for operation. We also can take the Phillips screwdriver and loosen the tightening screws that allow you to swivel the monitor or the control panel to a convenient viewing angle. And with these two loose, we can actually swing that forward and retighten the screws. Okay. You can also adjust the angle of the control panel here later, which we'll do when we actually power on the machine. Okay, next you want to go into your control panel, go into your toolbox here, and we're going to find your 3mm hex wrench, which is just a standard 3mm Allen wrench. This one happens to be included in the toolkit, so you don't have to go digging for one if you don't have one already. And we're going to take the two thread posts themselves and remove the attachment screws for the top of the thread tree. And this 3mm hex wrench will also have a dual purpose here. We're going to use it also to tighten down this thread post here, so we'll go ahead and put it in the mounting holes that are in the front and back of the thread base. So I'm removing the other screw, and we're going to set aside these screws. Remember, they're very important, so don't lose these two screws. So pre-positioning these two posts, we'll go ahead and manually tighten them down by hand. But if you can see at the top of these thread posts, there's a hole at the top that we can pass the shaft of the 3mm hex wrench through, and just tighten that down, maybe another half turn or quarter turn past hand tight, just to make sure that doesn't slip. And finally, we can pick up this entire thread tree and sit it on top of our posts, and we'll use those two 3mm screws, hex screws, to go ahead and lock that in place. First, starting the screws. And then finally tightening them down. And your machine's almost together with this step. The last thing that we're going to do is go ahead and install those arms. And we'll also use the same 3mm hex wrench to do that. So in attaching those arms to the pantograph themselves, notice that there are stickers on the sash that tell us that give us different positions to put the arms on. For most sew outs, unless you're using the very large 17.5 by 16.5 hoop, you can install this on the 360 mounted marked position here. And we don't need to remove the screws, we only need to loosen them as the arms are held in place by simply tightening them down. Now with the machine powered off, we can actually bring the carriage forward by hand to a more convenient angle if desired, as you can see right here. Just don't do that with the machine on, and then tighten these down. And make sure when you is press the arms flat up against the metal, straight metal of the sash, and give them a nice turn and tighten them. You want them squared up with the face of that sash for the correct angle. And remember, if you get that wrong, you can always attach a hoop and loosen the screws, and make sure that the hoop aligns neatly with the arms. And again, we're going to find the 360 position and simply give it about a half to 3/4 turn. Hopefully, and that's all you need to loosen it to remove it, and our arms are attached. Our machine is now formally assembled, and the next step we'll do is set it up for threading, which we'll do in the next video.